The Lost Scriptures, the letter of Peter to James, and its reception. Chapter 1. Peter to James, the Lord and Bishop of the Holy Church. Peace be with you always from the Father of all through Yahushua HaMashiach, knowing well that you, my brother, eagerly take pains about what is for the mutual benefit of us all. I earnestly beseech you not to pass on to any one of the Gentiles the books of my preachings, which I here forward to you, nor to any one of our own tribe before probation. But if some one of them has been examined and found to be worthy, then you may hand them over to him in the same way as Moses handed over his office of a teacher to the 70. Wherefore, also the fruit of his caution is to be seen up to this day, for those who being in his people preserve everywhere the same rule in their belief, and there's one Yah in their line of conduct, the scriptures with their many senses, being unable to incline them to assume another attitude. Rather, they attempt, on the basis of the rule that has been handed down to them, to harmonize the contradictions of the scriptures. If haply someone who does not know the tradition is perplexed by the ambiguous utterances of the prophets. On this account, they permit no one to teach unless he first learn how the scriptures should be used. Wherefore, there obtain amongst them one Yah, one law, and one hope. Chapter 2. In order now that the same way also take place among us, hand over the books of my preachings in the same mysterious way to our 70 brethren, that they may prepare those who are candidates for positions as teachers. For if we do not proceed in this way, our word of truth will be split into many options. This I do not know as a prophet, but I have already the beginning of the evil before me. For some from among the Gentiles have rejected my lawful preaching, and have preferred a lawless and absurd doctrine, and of the man who is my enemy. And indeed, some have attempted, while I am still alive, to distort my words, my interpretations of many sorts, as if I had taught the disillusion of the law, and although I was of this opinion, did not express it openly, but that may Yah forbid. For to do such a thing means to act contrary to the law of Yah, which was made known by Moses and was confirmed by our Yah in its everlasting countenance. For he said, the heavens and the earth will pass away, but one jot or one tittle shall not pass away from the law. This he said, that everything might come to pass, but those persons who I know not how allege that they are at home in my thoughts, which to expound the words which they have heard of me better than I myself who spoke them. To those whom they instruct, they say that this is my opinion, to which indeed I never gave a thought. But if they falsely assert such a thing while I am still alive, how much more after my death will those who come later venture to do so? Chapter 3. In order now that such a thing may not happen, I earnestly beseech you not to pass on the books of my preachings, which I send you, to any one of our own tribe or to any foreigner before probation. But if someone is examined and found to be worthy, let them then be handed over in the way. in which Moses handed over his office of a teacher to the 70, in order that they may preserve the dogmas and extend further the rule of the truth, interpreting everything in accordance with our tradition and not being dragged into error through ignorance and uncertainty in their minds to bring orders into the like pit of destruction. What seems to me be necessary, I have now indicated to you, and what you, my Lord, deem to be right, do you carry fittingly into effect. Farewell. The reception of the letter. From James to Peter. Chapter 1. Now when James had read the epistle, he called the elders together, read it to them and said, as is necessary and proper, our Peter had called our attention to the fact that we must be cautious in the matter of the truth, that we should pass on the books of his preachings that have been forwarded to us, not indiscriminately, but only to a good and religious candidate for the position of a teacher, a man as one who has been circumcised as a believing Yisraelite. And indeed, that we should not pass on all the books to him at once, so that if he shows indiscretion in handling the first, he may not be entrusted with the others. He ought therefore to be proved for not less than 6 years. Thereafter, according to the way of Moses, let him be brought to a river for a fountain where there is living water, and the regeneration of the righteous shall take place. Not that he may swear, for that is not permitted, but he should be enjoined to stand by the water and to vow, as we also ourselves were made to do at the time of our regeneration, to the end that we might sin no more. Chapter 2. And let him say, as witness, I invoke heaven, earth, and water, in which everything is comprehended, and also, in addition, the all-pervading air, without which I am unable to breathe, that I shall always be obedient to him who hands over to me the books of the preachings, and shall not pass on to anyone in any way the books which he may give to me, that I shall neither copy them to come into the hands of a copyright, neither shall I myself do this, nor shall I do it through another, and not in any other way, through cunning or tricks, through keeping them carelessly, through depositing them with another, or through underhanded agreement, nor in any other manner, or by means of any other artifice, will I pass them on to a third party. Only if I have proved someone to be worthy, proving him as I myself have been proved, or even more, in no case for less than 6 years, if he is a religious and good candidate for the position of a teacher, I will hand them over to him as I have received them, and certainly in agreement with my bishop. Chapter 3. Otherwise, though he be either my son, or a brother, or a friend, or any other relation, if he is unworthy, I shall keep information away from him, since it does not benefit him. I shall allow myself neither to be frightened by persecutions, nor to be deceived by gifts. And even if I should ever come to the conviction that the books of the preachings which have been handed to me do not contain the truth, then also I shall not pass them on, but shall hand them back. When I am on a journey, I shall carry with me all the books that are in my possession. And if I purpose not to take them with me, I shall not leave them behind in my house, but shall consign them to the care of my bishop, who is of the same faith and of like extraction. If I am sick and see death before me, I shall, if I am childless, proceed in the same way. I shall do the like if at the time of my death my son is not worthy or is not yet of age. I shall deposit the books with my bishop, that if when my son has come of age, he shall prove to be worthy of the trust, that he may hand them over to him as a father's legacy according to the terms of the vow. Chapter 4. And that I shall proceed in this way. I again invoke as witnesses heaven, earth, and water, in which everything is comprehended, and also, in addition, the all-pervading air, without which I am unable to breathe. I shall be obedient to him who hands over to me the books of the preachings. I shall keep them in every respect as I have vowed, and even beyond that. If now I observe the agreements, then will my portion be with the saints. But if I act against my vow, then may the universe and the all-pervading ether and Yah, who is over all and is mightier and more exalted than any other, be hostile to me. And if even I should come to believe in another God, then I swear also by him, whether he now is or is not, that I shall not proceed otherwise. In addition to all that, if I am false to my word, I shall be accursed, living and dead, and suffer eternal punishment. And thereupon, let him partake of bread and salt with him who hands over the books to him. When James had said this, the elders were pale with fright. Accordingly, observing that they feared greatly, James said, Hear me, brethren and fellow servants. If we pass on the books to all without discrimination, and if they are falsified by audacious people and are spoiled by interpretations, as indeed you have heard that some have already done, then it will come to pass that even those who earnestly seek the truth will always be led into error. On this account, it is better that we keep the books, and as we have said, hand them with all caution only to those who wish to live and to save others. But if anyone, after that he has made such a vow, does not adhere to it, then will he rightly suffer eternal punishment. For why should he not go to ruin who has been guilty of the corruption of others? Then were the elders pleased with James' conclusion and said, Praise be he who has foreseen all things and destined you to be our bishop. And when they had said this, we rose up and prayed to Yah, the Almighty Creator of all, to whom be glory forever. Amen.